This is Noita, an action roguelite that debuted on September 24th, 2019. What sets Noita apart from every other game in the genre is that each visible pixel has been simulated, which means that you can tamper with realistically everything with little to no exceptions. In my opinion, the most captivating aspect of this game involves the deep-running lore and various secrets that have been scattered throughout the playable area. Though this game has around 3,000 individuals playing at any given moment and well over 38,000 people in the official Discord, it may come as a surprise to find that over the 4 years Noita has been public, there are still secrets that to this day have yet to be solved. Allow me to introduce you to the convoluted mystery of Noita's infamous glyph cipher. For those uninitiated, Noita begins by placing you just outside a passageway to the inside of a mine. Bearing 2 wands and a potion, you decide to press on, only to be met with monsters of varying degrees of difficulty. Throughout your journey, you will come across many collectibles that may aid or harm your progress. Reaching the bottom of this layer, you will find a purple portal that transports you to a buffer zone known as the Holy Mountain. The Holy Mountain includes several collectibles that are of interest, including an immediate spell and health replenisher, wands and or spells, and finally a selection of perks and a reroll machine, just in case you want to try your luck. As you progress through the different biomes, the enemies you face as well as the collectibles you find will become more advanced, and though you may feel increasingly more powerful as you gather new wands and spells, somehow at the same time, it becomes easier for death to creep up from behind when you least expect it. And that is exactly what makes Noita so captivating. For as much as it gives, it takes away, leaving the player understandably wanting even more. Throughout your playthroughs, you may decide to diverge from the beaten path, where you will discover there is far more this world has to offer. Surprising to some, Noita is an incredibly vast game, the world having many points of interest that the majority of players would never find on their own. Deciding to explore, you will come across many different points of interest that shape what many know to be Noita's story. Whether it be through cryptic writings on tomes or symbols that require deciphering to solve, the developers of Noita undoubtedly went out of their way to make players work for their answers. And today's mystery is no exception. October 15th, 2020. Noita finally exits early access, with the dev channel, Nala Games, premiering a 1 minute and 50-second video titled Noita 1.0 Launch Trailer. Within this update contains a plethora of new features including spells, achievements, sounds, overhauls, and naturally the most interesting, new secrets. 3 days after the release of 1.0, what seems to be the first public discussion of the eyes appears in the official Noita Discord. An individual who goes by the name Latali presents an image of a large collection of eyes, each facing in one of 5 different directions. Unfortunately, due to its insignificance at the time, it was quickly swept under the rug. Just days later, amidst brief mentions of the glyphs, someone by the name of Striped appears to have kickstarted a genuine discussion regarding the possibility of these eyes being some sort of world generation error.
Here's what I think is happening. The game is bugging the hell out here. Directly to the right of the ice sheet, there is a tall strip of buggy terrain bordering the lake caused by who knows what in the generation. And for some reason, it's screwing with the terrain gen enough that it butchers the sprite randomization and makes them spawn in a huge cluster.
Throughout the next few days, there would be various discussions regarding whether or not this was something of substance, except the consensus was geared heavily toward this has to be a bug, rather than maybe there is something here. Due to this, someone by the name of Everfades decides to ask one of the developers of Noita, RV, for answers.
Is this just some bugged sprites, or can we try to uncover some secret here? Don't want to waste time on it if it's just a bug.
Unfortunately, RV is entirely uncertain regarding the nature of these eyes, stating,
I didn't implement the eye decorations, so I don't know much of anything about them.
Then mentioning that the individual responsible must have been co-developer Petri. Of course, this wasn't the most reassuring answer by any means. Still, the small number of individuals working on this naturally decided to continue looking into it anyway, with varying degrees of success. Eventually, so many potential leads and theories were brought forth that on February 6, 2021, someone named Xkeeper took it upon themselves to create a document chock full of important information regarding these eyes. Over time, everyone generally understood how the glyphs spawn, and what you would need to do to ensure you too can find these for yourself. Before I disclose the more important details, allow me to discuss the existence of parallel worlds. To keep it brief, to the far left and far right of Noita's world, there are large walls that are comprised of two materials known as extremely dense rock, or EDR, and cursed rock, both requiring specific spells to destroy. After making the breach, you will find a near one-to-one copy of the main world, except with new collectibles and other physical changes. The most notable change is the game refers to these locations by their direction, so the area to the left is referred to as Westworld, and the area to the right is referred to as Eastworld. Now that you understand the general concept of parallel worlds, the reason I even bring this up in the first place is because that just so happens to be where the eyes spawn. Essentially, both worlds contain these eye glyphs. 4 can be found in Westworld, whereas 5 can be found in Eastworld. Conveniently, although this is a timeline break, tools have been developed that allow you to pinpoint the coordinates of each glyph using your generated world seed, which is incredibly helpful if you're interested in seeing them on your own. So, let's take a look at the eyes themselves. Of course, you, like many, probably have no idea what this means. Within the 9 individual messages found in any given world, there are dozens of eyes to consider. This begs the question of how are you meant to read this? On the same day Xkeeper's document was created, they made a post regarding it in the Noita subreddit. Soon after, an individual by the name of the_duck1 suggested that due to the sum of the eyes in each message being a multiple of 3, it can inherently be presumed that the proper reading method may be in groups of 3s known as trigrams. It should also be noted that each eye has a value associated with it, forward being 0, up being 1, right being 2, down being 3, and left being 4. The poster suggests these values can be interpreted as base 5 values, but there could very well be other avenues one could use in order to solve these, many of which are present in the Google document. February 18th, 2021. YouTuber FuryForge released a video titled Noita Taste the Rainbow, where for the first time the eyes are being discussed through a broader lens, not restricted to members of the Discord. This worked as intended, attracting ironically more eyes to the mystery. Over the course of the investigation, all of the discussion surrounding these eyes took place within the Discord channel Noita Spoilers, and over the next few weeks, it became clear that the discussion needed a channel of its own because it was apparent this mystery had gotten bigger than anyone could have anticipated. So, on March 5th, 2021, the channel iCryptography was created. Eventually, on March 23rd, 2021, FuryForged made his first video fully dedicated to showcasing the eyes in an effort to solve this 6-month-old mystery, effectively bringing over more people but still no answers in sight. As the months passed, individuals would continue to make progress, eventually creating documents and programs solely dedicated to anything and everything you could consider regarding research done on these eyes. With so much information spanning several types of media, it was almost inevitable that someone would compile these into a document to make them as accessible as possible. So, on August 31st, 2022, a spreadsheet document created by an individual named Gonzo would be used as a library, hosting important information centered around these eyes and a separate mystery of a similar nature, the Cauldron. December 9th, 2022. An individual makes themselves known on the Noita Discord with the belief that they were in possession of a lead that could potentially blow this mystery out of the water. The person, who goes by the name Cypherpunk, begins their explanation by stating,
Last night I met with my buddy, whom I used to work with. He's an expert in designing circuit boards and processing digital signals. We had a conversation about the glyphs, and to be clear, he knows nothing about Noita. I thought it would be an interesting topic, so I gave him the high level on what's already known. Things like each symbol has 5 states, the messages vary in length, there's corresponding messages in West 1 and East 1, and so on. I mentioned the trigrams and how many states they can express. I had very little work to do. He was following the conversation easily, and he noted that 125 states would cover the ASCII table nicely.
He then blurted out, "This makes sense. PAM5. To keep it very brief, using my incredibly limited knowledge of the subject, PAM is, on paper, about how Ethernet signals are sent, with 5 in this case being the number of states this signal can have. The most compelling aspect of cypherpunk's messages is the correlation between the eyes and an apparent way of measuring digital signals, something aptly named eye patterns. According to cypherpunk, a strong signal would be described as an open eye, and with our current knowledge of the eyes previously being read as base 5, this might have just been the lead everyone was waiting for. Unfortunately, this lead ironically led nowhere. Though this seemed compelling in theory, when put to the test, individuals discovered there were many reasons this could not be the answer. Aside from tests being run and returning useless information, it appeared that, in general, the only association you could find between the eyes and PAM5 is what I mentioned previously, so it was left behind, and investigators carried on. That was until January 11th, 2023, when the most peculiar series of events would unfold, leading to a frenzy within the Noita community.
Here, you guys get it first. Why not? I don't want to make you wait. I'm making a video to let others know. 3 emails by Hidden Secret.
Email 1. Never universe and again on the
Strokes of 2 and Eyes of Many. Forever a burning mind. Inability to coexist with the veil of the irrelevant, the search continues. High in the sky, far to the yellow sea, deep below the bubbling lakes, to the peaceful, serene secrets of the West. A message it does not contain, but a pathway. First, the mind and world must be clear of alterations. They cannot exist without. Forget the secrets of the bubbling brew, the void has already consumed. 8 comes around the table, circling the sun, and alignments meet, remembered and not lost. They point the way.
Email 2. As above, never below. An end to a lost beginning.
Waste not the grains falling through the glass vials. There are plenty. Secrets will be buried with it. 160-276-1874 was an implementation of an idea. It formed and burned. It was released with a crack and a final show. Promises withheld and made. Instructions given, ignored, lost, forgotten, forgiven. Swirls of a state shimmer in your pointed leads. I am not a god of the language. Stand and watch, old friend. The deletion of knowledge was acknowledged. In turn, knowledge was shared. To what extent do we fear? What can be given can be taken away. Turn back to the whispered voices and retry. If you won't, someone else surely will. High sky, yellow sea, bubbling nethers, and a serene lake. Let the light shine, paths unfold. Clear alterations of the mind and world. No tinkering with reality and its creation. Triangles and beams forever unfold. A lost soul hides. A path reveals. This is one key of 2. Someone else holds the other. Will not repeat. Hello to an end, or goodbye to a beginning. I hope someone understands. The outcome of the untouched, the salt holds.
Email 3.
Time is all we have in the end. We use it, and for what? Our mark, our celestial beliefs? I want to make this clear. I am not a creator. The world built was not by me, nor the ideas instilled. I found them. I found a way. I watch. I understood. I message you in a way that keeps things entertaining, and because you've shown you care for sacrifice and have been willing to take it. Strokes of 2 have been made. The 2 pieces lie apart, one which you already hold. Let your voice be heard by many. Call out to your missing link. They will surely surface after enough time alone. They have not been made aware by you or the piece. Good luck. Messages sent. Brushing off nothing. The salt leads the way. It glows with promise. Be one with it. Taking the life of others is not sacrifice, not without a purpose or belief. You must remain pure. There are 5 questions etched into this partnership, 5 of which I may answer, 5 of which I may reveal, and 5 of which I will give. Find yourself at a rock face, and don't despair. There is no shame in reaching out for whispers carried in the wind. Ask. Process what you need. I go nowhere. An ending draws near, a forgotten scene remembered. Rid the mind of alterations and excuses, and focus on the key for now. You need the piece. You are a piece. 5 remnants of an ancient story remain in your grasp. I look forward to putting a long-awaited secret to rest. Maybe the words you seek are right in front of you, old friend. We are what we repeatedly do. You are yourself. After all, everyone else is already taken, no?
Now that you are caught up on the first 3 emails, allow me to guide you through what can be understood from some peculiar aspects of these blocks of text. Starting with email 1, if it wasn't clear, the title appears to be hiding a message. Initially, you may think of the many different potential ciphers this could be, and you wouldn't be alone in thinking that. Strangely, the correct letters were hidden between an unrelated mess of characters that, when isolated, gives you the actual title, and you never saw them again. Moving on to email 2, near the beginning of the message happens to be a string of numbers for seemingly no reason. The first thing everyone naturally flocked to was this could be a potential seed to use in-game. Of course, this ultimately ended up not specifically being the case, and was also referencing Unix time for Thursday, October 15th, 2020 at 11 hours, 37 minutes, and 54 seconds, which was the release date of Noita 1.0. Shortly after these 3 emails were sent, another individual who goes by the name Salty Outcome mentioned that they too had received an email, claiming to believe it was a troll. This email reads,
There is nothing for you to find here. Your alignments are wrong. You see only one plane with your mind and refuse to acknowledge the several other ones in existence. Layered curiosities live within. The only way left is not up. The beating heart of a star was not set, not formed, not made. The mind is unclear. Alterations dig deep into the lies you weave yourself down the paths you've all set.
After now having collected 4 individual messages from 2 separate people, it was clear that more would eventually receive and release emails of their own. To paint the picture, this mystery had gone on for the better part of 3 years at this point, so of course individuals were quick to voice their frustration. Essentially, this hidden secret person, commonly referred to as HS, was dangling the idea of a carrot in front of everyone's faces. There was no way to prove they had an answer, but there was also no way to disprove this either. So of course, the community, for the most part, decided to give in, just in case there was something of substance here. Eventually, due to their email being given out, so many people were actively sending questions to HS that an individual named Defecto decided to collect all of the emails, importing them into a Google document. This document would be titled Noita Hidden Secret, and this is where you can, to this day, find every single email exchange that had been sent between Hidden Secret and members of the Noita community. Among these email exchanges, an individual by the name of NWCO discloses a response where HS references 5 eyes appearing as individual pieces to the overall puzzle. 1 includes a seed, 2 includes a location, 3 includes a method, 4 includes an alteration, and 5 includes a birth. Based on this, as well as their request for individuals to ask, it was expected that 4 different people would receive each answer, keeping silent until the 5th eye and 2nd key were chosen and brought to light, with the 1st key being Fury Forged as mentioned earlier. These 4 eyes would shortly thereafter be chosen. Gonzo receiving the seed, Frike receiving the location, NWCO receiving the method, and Bacon receiving the alteration. From here, it was a waiting game, as everyone patiently sat idly by until a fifth eye was selected. And eventually, that eye was found.
There is nothing for you to find here. Your alignments are wrong. There is nothing for you to find here. There is nothing for you to find here. There is nothing for you to find here. https://eyesofnoita.com.
Apparently, within the hidden secret Google document, there was a window of time where this domain had appeared in the suggestion feed by an unknown user, to which it was noticed and investigated. There was no confirmation this was in fact owned by HS, but it was still intriguing nonetheless. Taking a look at the landing page, you would see the trailer altar with the Noita logo at the forefront. Interestingly, if you take a look at the platform itself with the green text, you will notice when comparing this one to the one found in-game, there is a stark difference. When translating this text into English, you will find it spells out an email.
Fifth eye at eyesofnoita.com.
Delving into the source text, you will also come to find
Your eyes do not deceive you, but the message has yet to arrive.
And
The fifth eye opens.
now, it is nearing impossible levels of difficulty to find photo or video documentation showing every aspect of this website, so for most of this section, I will be using word of mouth to paint a picture of each update this page underwent when I refer to it. As time progressed, more updates to the site would appear in the source text, with even HS themselves confirming its legitimacy, and then editing the document once again, reading,
Fifth eye has opened. Announced their presence. A pathway glows with promise. Status, secret received. I'll pave the path soon. They will reveal themselves to the eye holders. Make yourselves known. Secrets will be withheld if you message an eye holder asking for findings. Play along. The email is for the eye holders purely so as to not clutter.
With this, not only had the community received dozens of emails with information forcing people in the right direction, but around this time, HS had sent what I can only assume is their last email, with its contents which were very exciting to hear. At 8:10 p.m. on January 13th, 2023, HS wrote,
Secrets will be revealed before the end of the week, one way or another.
Now meaning there was a set deadline of 2 days. Within the final 24 hours, eyesofnoita.com would play Majora's Mask music, reading Dawn of the Final Day in the source text. The community was both intrigued and skeptical, wondering what exactly was about to unfold. As the final minutes ticked by, the iChannel in the Discord became incredibly active. Everyone was on the edge of their seats. What if, after 3 years, this random individual who came out of the blue truly solved this mystery many lost months of their lives to? As the 24 hours came to a close, all eyes were on HS. Until nothing. An hour passed. Still nothing. Everyone beginning to consider they had been played. This random individual claiming to know a mystery that remained unsolved for years, with smart people working around the clock in an effort to figure out what these eyes mean, somehow managed to be the only one to solve it. On paper, this does seem improbable, but at the very least, if this all truly ended up being false, at the end of the day, this hoax allowed everyone involved to have a fun experience, coming together as a community. Within the next hour, the site updates.
An explanation. This will be the last site update. The rest is left to hidden secrets and the community. From Gonzo, from the Fifth Eye. Please be kind to one another. The Fifth Eye.
Here you will find 2 hyperlinks, one taking you to a Google document, a note from Gonzo, while the other takes you to a second document titled from Fifth Eye. The message from Gonzo, one of the eye holders, expresses their feelings regarding this strange hidden secret mystery, stating,
"Skepticism is in my blood. It is simply in my nature to question regardless of things like credentials, experience, or trust."
Later mentioning,
"Let me level with you guys. In my own personal opinion, it doesn't look good."
Gonzo then continues to convey their side of things.
"I was chosen as one of the bearers of information. It wasn't long before 4 of us received our clues and talked about the puzzle as a group, yet kept our clues to ourselves for the time being. Later, we received contact that we were allowed to share our clues between each other. The clues we were given described something truly beautiful for the community that could easily go down as the most remembered event in the game's history. There was hope."
As the document continues, the reality begins to set in.
"Some of our own questions led to more contradictions that were later conveniently tossed aside. The longer I went without facts, the more skeptical I grew. HS is not the true puzzle solver in all this. HS has revealed to us that it is not her, but her friend who solved the cipher and what it leads to. Her friend is the second keyholder. They have yet to make contact with us at all."
Gonzo wraps up the document by stating their reason for writing this in the first place.
"If you are reading this, it means we failed. We weren't able to get proof. HS revealed to us after nearly 48 hours of radio silence between Saturday night and Monday night that she was unwilling to give us any evidence that this was not a hoax."
So from these aspects of the document, we know just how poorly handled this all was. Hoax or not, even the eyes weren't given the privilege of sight. The Fifth Eye document has an entirely different feel. Considering everyone knows next to nothing about who this individual is, throughout this 14-page document, it details the backstory behind how they were enveloped into everything.
"My story starts later into this game. And so I emailed HS with a thank you for having made the ARG and an offer. If they would make me the Fifth Eye, I would help with the ARG by giving it a home and another fun way to reveal the information she wished to reveal. Rest easy yourself. I think I believe I'm locking you in as a fifth. Having some help host this ARG would be a huge load off my shoulders to help with. Just a heads up on what to look forward to soon."
The Fifth Eye then details they were the one responsible for purchasing the eyesofnoita.com domain. After getting into contact with the other eye holders, it was conveyed to HS everyone was losing faith in this entire ARG, beginning to feel that this was a hoax. To which HS joins a Discord group chat with the eyes, then having a Q&A session, which was shared in the document. Pages 4 to 9 are chock full of important questions that should be simple to answer in theory for someone working so closely with the original solver. With all of these answers, a run of sorts was privately created. The perfect run required to ensure anyone could solve this mystery themselves.
"A fresh file. A pacifist run to create the Sunseed. 0 orbs. Avoid parallel worlds. The eyes must not load into the world. Bring the seed above the surface. Hold a flamoxium flask and die to the sun, crashing the game. Read the crash logs for a pastebin link."
Though this appears to be huge for the community, the thought of a hoax was still lingering, so understandably, HS was asked to reveal the solution to a singular individual just to ensure this wasn't all for nothing. Bryke was chosen as the bearer of this cipher, but HS went radio silent. Maybe the stress had become overbearing, or maybe this was truly just a hoax, and there was never this incredible solution no one had considered prior. It was unclear. January 17th, 2023. Within the first few hours of the day, eyesofnoita.com was once again updated. Eyes were now visible in the image, all 5 of which, at the time, could be interacted with. Alongside this, the pedestal now featured a new message.
"The answers you seek, all will be revealed."
Intriguing. Interacting with each of these eyes would prompt text boxes with short clusters of information regarding each of the 5 eyes.
Eye of Seed. The seed was given already, and a play was made. Look back through the past and find the string of numbers etched into the sayings. Eye of Location. A barrier was mentioned in method. Do not go there. Do not load the areas. It'll be explained when put together. You must collect the flask spawned left of the mines, far but before the borders. It contains something specific to the seed and connected to the altering of the method. Using that, do not shift. Keep it, because it is what you need to be holding when you complete the final step in method, before entering the code for the link. The stones collected are all found naturally to create the lever you push. Birth contains the alignments you'll use for the exact coordinates. Eye of Method. The engine can be altered to in turn alter a reality. Ones within could not know that's the case. This must be done to force a world of your liking, without the use of mods. Don't shift. Materials matter in this world. Every second counts. Find a location with what you need. It'll be revealed with another closure. You already know where the eyes are. Do not load them, ever. They are the barrier. Create what I have specified in multiple messages already. A window outside of the world shall appear, asking you if you know what you seek. If not, you would not be there, would you? Typing in the answer will lead to a paste bin link. Eye of Alteration. The alteration is granted. Crash the method, follow the link, reveal the birth. You must be holding the spoils of location for this to work. Death is the only path to life. Eye of Birth. Birth the world in purity and light. It must not be dark. Internal mechanics tick. Let the world be at peace. Do not solve conflict with violence. The salt in hand, a resurrection must be made. Destroy the evil within. Obtain a promise. Promises fulfilled, bask in golden death while holding the flask that shouldn't be. Within lies an error from the outside realm. The lines reveal a code created for the bearers to discover. The community is in your hands. Ask them for help where needed, but never reveal too much.
Unexpectedly, shortly after the site updates, HS had broken their silence. From here, it was obvious she had some explaining to do, and for good reason. HS would go on to have an hour-long Q&A session, which was compiled into a Google document by an individual named Dakari.
I did not disappear. The released info was rushed. The ARG is falling apart by an unwinding string, but that does not mean that the secrets are going with it. The fifth eye acted fairly, and I believe people just wanted answers.
Throughout this Q&A session, there was an unfortunate amount of deflecting.
I just want to know how to read the messages. No cryptic hints. A real method. Ask Frike. You mentioned that the run involves starting with no progress and remaining at no progress. How do you progress the Sun Quest without being able to use either spells or perks? You never actually create the sun. Again, ask Frike.
Although these messages appear rather shady, HS found themselves in a position where they had plausible deniability. They were never the founder of this run, nor had they solved the eyes in the first place. It was always the second key, their friend. As this Q&A session went on, it became clear this was not working out. Everyone wanted answers, but of course,
that would literally spoil everything related to the cipher.
HS then discloses their reasoning for disappearing, claiming it was due to falling ill and having mental health issues whilst everything was ongoing. Regardless of the size of this web HS had spun, it is important to remember this is a human being at the end of the day. It is unclear whether or not they just wanted to have fun or if they were truly acting in malice. But either way, I doubt HS had ever anticipated the true scale this would arrive at in such a short period of time. As the Q&A came to a close, the fifth eye would state in the Discord,
I am going to bed, but I wanted to stress what I said multiple times on the site and in my doc. Remember to be kind, even if that's all you remember to be. While I no longer believe in the ARG myself, at the end of the day, HS is only a person who wanted us all to have fun. I'd like people to keep that in mind and not hound her. ARGs can be quite difficult to create and run, especially the more cryptic you desire them to be. Good night to everyone.
HS would expectedly never return, thus concluding the HS chapter of this story so far. Before I conclude this video, I encourage that if you are interested in the mystery yourself and maybe even want to try your hand at it, you take a look at the Noita Discord and check out the lengthy amounts of information they have over there, as the developers confirmed the message is solvable. And if you want to solve the mystery of why it takes me so long to make these videos, follow all of my socials and join my Discord, linked in the description. And if you're feeling it, maybe perhaps purchase a channel membership, no pressure. But with that out of the way, now for my favorite part of each video, thanking the amazing individuals you see on screen for supporting me each and every month. I'd like to thank Anita Cube, Buggy Zach, Coco Loco, and Funsome for purchasing the GLoWhNo consumer membership tier. Usually during the subscribey, I don't prefer to speak and just let the music play, but I wanted to thank you all for supporting me during these lengthy periods between uploads. I've been having the most unlucky last few months, and I'm happy to say, officially, the unlucky streak is completely over. I know I kind of alluded to that last time, and I might have just jinxed myself, but this time, I can now fully focus on work and not worry about very specific outside forces spontaneously affecting my mental health right before I start working on a video. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next one. Remember, you all mean the world to me. Alright, I'll see you.